We can ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines in this country once again. I got that done when I was a senator. It passed. It was law for the longest time. And it brought down these mass killings. We should do it again.
And here we go. Here we go. The Biden administration, Democrats are not holding back, are not failing to seize the opportunity, exploiting a mass shooting, exploiting the Colorado gunman. They are not holding back. Biden, Democrats, woke Twitter, all these radical leftists, the journos on Twitter, right? The fact checkers, those that combat misinformation, they have it on their bios, immediately pounced on the opportunity to blame the Colorado gunman and what happened in the mass shooting on white supremacy immediately. But it totally backfired on woke Twitter. Why? Because the guy is not even white. Okay? It is not because of white supremacy. And we're going to get into just exactly who this guy is. But now all of woke Twitter was blaming it on a white man, blaming it on white supremacy. Turns out that the guy's not even white. Turns out that the guy's actually a Muslim, but the guy's not even white. He's actually an immigrant, so totally backfires on woke Twitter, and Twitter is not even fact-checking these people. So much for combating disinformation, right? So we're going to get into these things tonight, guys. If you guys enjoy the show, I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. But first, guys, please make sure to smash that like button, destroy that like button to help me as a creator. Please help me. It helps the algorithm. It pushes the algorithm. I cannot do it on my own, guys. I can only sit here and put on the show, communicate the truth, but you guys have to share this stuff as well. But smash that like button and share this video far and wide. Share this link on your Parler. Share this link on your Gab, on your Facebook, on your Twitter. Share this link wherever you can post a link immediately. But also subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this for the first time, please subscribe to the channel immediately right now. Subscribe, but also hit that bell notification. But remember, if you don't toggle on the all option when you hit the bell notification, it'll leave it on a default option that'll only give you occasional notifications. So you yourself have to toggle on all. When you hit subscribe and then hit the bell, toggle on all so you can get a notification for every single video and piece of content that I post on this channel. Smash that like button. Destroy that like button, share this video, hit that bell notification, and toggle on all. And also, guys, I am 100% independent. I am supported by We the People, that is you the people, 100% alternative independent media. So guys, if you guys would like to support me and my family and my reporting and what I am doing, putting my life on the line every single day when I'm going out or I'm saying things here on this channel, risking getting canceled and censored. If you guys would like to support me, I'm not CNN, I am not Fox News. You can leave a super chat either right now in the middle of the show if you like something I say, or at the end of the show. We do Q&As here on Drew Hernandez Live, and you guys can leave a super chat to support me and what I am doing, combating the fake news narrative, combating the propaganda. This is how you guys can support me. Drop a super chat, or some people just like to donate directly to my website. The link is in the description below. You can donate on PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. The link is in the description below. If you love what I do, you love what you heard, or you love my reporting, I have some trips coming up as well. I'm going to take a trip down to Texas at the southern border. There are some riots coming up. The anniversary of George Floyd is coming up, so there's definitely going to be some riots across the nation. So if you guys would like to help me, it helps with flights, hotels, traveling, all that good stuff. You guys can do that. The link is in the description below. I truly, truly do appreciate, especially all of you guys that have been supporting me with the super chats, supporting me monthly on Patreon. We thank you, thank you, thank you. If you would like to join the community, our community is gathering. You could support me monthly on Patreon as well. The link is in the description. I truly, truly appreciate it. This is the way. Let us continue as we take a look at the top story of the day. In my opinion, I believe this is a distraction from the absolute hashtag Biden border crisis that is taking place at the southern border, because it's just so convenient that this takes place, and it gives Democrats and it gives the radical woke leftists on Twitter, it gives them all something to talk about and cover, and immediately pounce on it and get it out there for the world to hear their narrative, right? Project Veritas drops pictures of inside the migrant detention facilities. Drew Hernandez exposes that Jen Psaki is lying with video footage of Border Patrol agents apprehending migrants at the southern border when she's been saying that they've been rejected. This is so bad for this administration. They are 100% being exposed. They have nothing to say. AOC is silent. The entire radical left is silent. And then a mass shooting takes place. And it's completely distracted the national conversation. But there are a few things that I would like to point out about this. Notice, we'll get to that, okay? We'll get to that. First, we're going to talk about woke Twitter, okay? Woke Twitter right now. This is, and I'm talking to white people right now, okay? Because this is a continual assault, targeted assault and attack and smear and demonization of white people, okay? This is a continuing theme that we're seeing, and it actually backfired today because they attempted, these radical left wokeists, on freaking Twitter, attempted to say that the reason why the Colorado gunman did what he did was because he was white and because of white supremacy. Turns out that the guy's not even white. All right? And so all of these radical woke leftists on journos, on Twitter have been fact-checked. They've been debunked. Twitter themselves didn't mark any of their tweets for disinformation. None of them. None of them have been censored like all the people that believe in Trumpism and certain things on Twitter. I mean, there was a mass purge because Jack Dorsey and Twitter was claiming that we are combating disinformation and we can't allow it. Even though the radical left comes out with mass disinformation all over Twitter, and it's just up right now to this very hour. They don't even delete it. Some people just left it up. They don't even care. Because they can get away with propaganda. They can get away with lies. So let's take a look just at how stupid these people really, really are. But smash that like button, destroy that like button. Let's get the like button all the way up to 500 likes. It is up to you, the Drew Hernandez community. Let's do this. Okay, let's get this up. So Daily Wire reports the situation and has compiled this for us to view. So media activists assumed Colorado shooter was white. Delete posts, pivot when his identity revealed. This is ridiculous, dude. As soon as a shooting was reported in Colorado, in a Colorado grocery store, Boulder, Colorado grocery store, members of the media and activists rushed to insist the shooter must be white, and specifically a white supremacist, before confirming who the guy was, okay? Before confirming who this guy was, before his identity was even revealed. When news outlets reported that the suspect had been apprehended, numerous verified Twitter accounts suggested that the shooter must be white, as any other race, some claimed, would have been shot at the scene. Okay? The suspected shooter was shot at the scene, but in the leg, and was taken into custody. Deadspin editor Julie DiCaro and USA Today editor Hemel Havari insisted in a conversation that the shooter was a white man, referring to him as an angry white man. Okay, without even confirming who this guy was, without even confirming his identity or his race or even his motives, radical left journalists, even USA Today, Deadspin, the entire woke left Twitter mob was immediately and already pushing the narrative that the shooter was white and a white supremacist. Immediately. Without any facts, without any context, without any confirmation, they immediately attempted to demonize white people by taking this narrative with a broad blanket and putting it on all of white people. It's a continual theme. It's a continued strategic attack and demonization of white people without any context or any facts. It gets worse. It gets worse. Take a look at this. Amy Siskind, a feminist activist, said the shooter was almost certainly a white man because he was apprehended. Once she learned the race of the suspect, however, she pivoted to suggesting people mourn the victims and not focus on the identity of the killer. Author Mina Harris, niece of Vice President Kamala Harris, posted, then deleted a tweet declaring, "Violent white men are the greatest terrorist threat to our country." This is who's allowed on Twitter to say whatever they want, which I respect, right? I will forever defend their freedom of speech, okay? You could say, I believe you can say whatever you want, even if you're a liar. You'll get debunked and you'll be proven a liar and it'll ruin your own reputation, but I support free speech. So I'm not sitting here saying that I don't support their free speech to say this. What I'm going to say tonight is that the radical left has the free speech to spread all kinds of misinformation online. But when conservatives say things that are unpolitically correct, right? That are not politically correct, they get censored. We get canceled. We can't say anything. It's disinformation. We can't allow it to be online because it's poisoning the minds of people. They're lies. So we can't allow it to be on Twitter. But the radical left gets to literally make accusations without any confirmation, and it's allowed to stay on Twitter. Caleb Hull, a Republican strategist, compiled a list of similar statements from reporters and activists, many of whom have deleted their original tweets once they learned the suspect was not white, but of Arabic descent. You see how this ruins their narrative? They don't even get any confirmation. This is real journalism, guys. Real journalism out there. Woke, radical left, wokeist, Twitter, whatever. I don't even know what to call you guys anymore. It's ridiculous. I'm sick of you. Here it is. Here's a thread. From Caleb Hull, verified Twitter thread, here are all the idiotic leftists who immediately jumped to politicize the tragic Boulder shooting to push their narrative, only for it all to fall apart when it turns out the shooter is Muslim. Deadspin editor. There it is. Extremely tired of people's lives. This is from Julie DiCario, wrote a book. This is Julie DiCario's verified Twitter. She says, extremely tired of people's lives depending on whether a white man with an AR-15 is having a good day or not. Turns out that the shooter isn't white. He's of Arabic descent. Would you look at that? Here goes another one. The suspected shooter, a 21-year-old who will not be named per Daily Wire policy, killed 10 people at a King Soopers grocery store on Monday, including one police officer. While his Arabic name may prompt new assumptions about his motive, members of his family have told the Daily Beast that the suspect suffered from mental illness, was very antisocial and paranoid. The suspect's brother said that in high school, the suspect claimed he was being chased. Someone is behind him. Someone is looking for him. When he was having lunch with my sister in a restaurant, he said, people are in the parking lot. They are looking for me. She went out and there was no one. We didn't know what was going on in his head. The brother said he might be schizophrenic. That's what it sounds like. I'm not a doctor, but that's what it sounds like. Further, the suspect's brother said the shooting may not have been political. It was not at all a political statement. It's mental illness. This is the guy's own family, okay? The guy's own family is saying this. So all of you radical woke leftists out there, it's white supremacy. It's white supremacy. It's because of white people. The shooter's own family is saying the guy was mentally ill. It's not because of white supremacy. It was not at all a political statement. It's mental illness, he told the Daily Beast. The guy used to get bullied a lot in high school. He was like an outgoing kid, but after he went to high school and got bullied a lot, he started becoming antisocial. The brother also said another sibling and other family members were detained by police and their home was searched. I guarantee you they're going to blame that on white supremacy too. The suspect was born in Syria. This is not a white man. This guy is from Syria, a native-born Syrian, but reportedly spent most of his life in the United States. Boulder police officials said during a Tuesday press conference. The suspect's Facebook profile says he was born in Syria in 1999 and came to the United States in 2002. He also posted information rebuking former President Donald Trump and discussed his history as a high school wrestler. As soon as the shooting was reported, Democrats, including the Biden administration, began hyping gun control measures once again. So I want to take you guys to some of this. Let's leave this up. I want to take you guys to this thread. I want to show you just how stupid these people really are. Now that we have the facts, here are some of the tweets that these people were putting up. Here's one where this person was saying, the shooter was taken into custody. In other words, it was almost certainly a white man. Again, if he were black or brown, he would be dead. Thank you, Amy Siskind. Here's another one, or Siskind, whatever, who cares? Let's mourn the victims, but not glorify the killer with the intention of having his name widely known. Let's see. I think we have some more. Here's another one from George Hahn, verified account George Hahn. When a white guy with an AR-15 shoots and kills a bunch of people, is the motive reality relevant? Spoiler alert on the motive. He was having feelings, anger, inadequacy, invisibility, impotence, i.e. not special. Blaming it on white people. Blaming it on white people. A white guy. Here's another one. Dylan Park, verified Twitter account. A white man walked into a grocery store in Boulder, killed 10 people, and was apprehended by the police and walked out of the building completely unharmed. Right down the road, police killed Elijah McClain while he apologized for not doing anything wrong. Two different Americas. Backfired. Guy's not even white. Here's another one. The suspected gunman in the Boulder, Colorado mass shooting is a white guy. The guy's Syrian. He's Arabic. Wrong. The suspected gunman in the Boulder, Colorado mass shooting is a white guy. 7 reported dead. Q, mental illness, bad day, parking dispute, or anything else other than what he most likely is, a white domestic terrorist. This is dangerous, man. This is an attack on white people, and it's continuing, and it's growing. Demonization of a race. Here's another one from Don Winslow, verified Twitter account. Description, police have taken him into custody. Translation, he was white. Again, the guy's from Syria, not a white guy. He's of Arabic descent. Here's another one. D.L. Hughley, genius D.L. Hughley. He's a funny guy, right? But a white armed mass murderer has a better chance surviving an encounter with the police than a black dude holding a phone. Huh. Okay, whatever you say. We have another one from Rosanna Arquette. She says, call it what it is. White supremacist domestic terrorism. White supremacist domestic terrorism. Again, the guy's not even white. Guys, there are hundreds of these tweets. Here's another one. Kamala Blackett. She says, it was so relaxing to just be worried about being killed by an invisible virus instead of literally any slightly inconvenienced white man with a gun. Everything is white. Everything is white people. Everything is white people. Everything is racist. Everything that goes wrong is white people. My gosh, dude. These people are just, gosh, man, I'm so embarrassed. Here's another verified blue check genius. People will continue to die just so that white men can own guns and reinforce the power they already have. Dude, I could read these all day. Here's another one. Francis Maxwell, verified Twitter account. Today, a white man walked into a grocery store in Boulder and killed 10 people. He was apprehended by police and taken unharmed. Meanwhile, not far from this very store, it's the same stuff. This is their little narrative. White man versus black man. White man versus black man. White man versus brown man. White man, it's the same thing. Always over and over and over. Race baiting, race wars, pinning races against each other, even when it's a national tragedy. They don't care. This is just a political opportunity. I'll read you these last two. Mina Harris, verified Twitter account. This tweet has been deleted. Why? Because she knows she's an idiot. The Atlanta shooting was not even a week ago. Violent white men are the greatest terrorist threat to our country. Not too many people will read violent. They'll just see white men. I can almost assure you. This is a demonization of a race in the United States. Last one, I'll read you this one. Another verified Twitter account. He says, we really need to ban angry white guys with guns. You see, let's pull out of this. You see, the problem with this is who gets to define these terms? Who gets to define what violent is? Who gets to define what angry is? Right? Because the fact of the matter is the race that they're demonizing. Doesn't matter. They can make up whatever violent is. They can make up whatever angry is. Your Second Amendment right, is a God-given right. So these people are coming out and saying, well, if you're violent, if you're angry, we should ban angry white guys with guns? What does that even mean? Who gets to define that? Who gets to define what? If you have an angry looking face? If you had an angry day? If you had a bad day? If you had an argument with someone at work? Or if you had an argument with your wife at home and you're a gun owner responsibly with the Second Amendment, it's your God-given right? Do you see how this verbiage, do you see how this rhetoric is very dangerous? Because their speech could be altered, it could be defined any way that they want. The fact of the matter is they're targeting white people. They're targeting white people. It doesn't matter if they say, if you're angry. It doesn't matter if they say, oh, violent. It doesn't matter. That is completely irrelevant because we're dealing with a political ideology that believes in extreme relativism where they can believe and define whatever it is that they want. If they say something is, that's their belief system, okay? You can't tell these people if they're a biological male, if they identify as a female, this type of thinking that these people have, you cannot tell them the truth about themselves. Otherwise, they'll cancel you and censor you and come after you and attempt to erase you out of existence. What I'm saying is the terms don't matter. It's the rhetoric. It's the rhetoric that matters. It doesn't matter. They are specifically targeting white people. The word violent to them, the word angry to them could mean literally anything. Anything. If they just feel like you're a threat. But the fact of the matter is they're targeting white people. The radical woke leftist mob, they failed and it backfired because they thought they had a golden opportunity to demonize white people again because another mass shooting took place and the guy appeared to be white, but turns out he's of Arabic descent and he's actually a born native Syrian, not even born in the USA, and they were attempting to say it was white supremacy. And it was because of angry white people. You think this kind of rhetoric doesn't affect our country in the minds of millions of people? It doesn't infect and poison the minds of millions of people? How do you think Adolf Hitler got away with what he did against Jews? What did he do? He demonized them. He propagated them. He slandered them. He caused an entire nation to believe something about a certain race that wasn't entirely true about every single person that was Jewish. This is exactly what the Nazis did. Through speech, with speech. They get to say anything. They monopolize speech. They monopolize communications. That's exactly what Democrats are doing right now. They're monopolizing speech. They're defining terms. They're defining words. And then what do they do once they monopolize the speech arena? They censor anyone else that says or differs from what anyone else in their ideology is acceptable to say or to do. So they monopolize the speech, they control that arena, they dictate what can be said, right? They define terms, they define words, they give you green lights to what you could talk about, and then what do? They censor anyone that goes against those rules. That's what the Nazis did. And that's exactly what big tech is doing today. That's exactly what the radical left is doing today. They've monopolized speech, and now they're censoring anyone that differs from what is politically correct to their regime. And here we are. And part of what's happening now, I believe, in the 1940s, it really was white supremacy against Jewish people. But now it's literally this radical woke leftism of minorities and homosexuals and queers and trans people. This entire little bubble of people with a technocracy and the global elite funding them, and this whole side that's literally taking aim at white people right now. That is where we are right now in the United States of America. They're attempting to demonize white people. They're attempting to smear white people. They're attempting to slander an entire race. Not all white people are racist. Just like not all black people are racist, which a lot of black people are racist. Same with Hispanics and brown people. There's racism everywhere in every single society and group of people. It's not just white people. But they're not going to tell you this because that's not their narrative. And when it backfires, it's hilarious. Even in their arrogance, some people deleted their tweets, but some people just left it up. They don't care. Professional journalists. Well, when I say professional, I guess in the meaning of the term, in the definition, I guess you could say, their actual occupations, the jobs and careers that they hold. If you guys agree with anything I am saying, drop a 1 in the comment section below. And smash that like button. If you believe that the radical left has mobilized and engineered and is attempting to fan the flames of a race war and that white people are being demonized and you're sick of it, drop a 1 in the comment section below and smash that like button. Let's boost the likes and get them over to 500 likes right now. If you think that this is happening in the United States of America and you're sick of it like me, and I'm not even white, then smash that like button and drop a 1 in the comment section below. Because this is not a good thing to be taking place in the United States of America. This is absolutely the wrong direction our country should be going in. And by the way, where are the fact checkers? By the way, didn't Jack Dorsey come out? Multiple senators, Jack Dorsey having multiple sessions being grilled by senators, being grilled by politicians. Every time he's asked, why do you guys have such a political bias? Every time he's asked, why do you guys censor certain political speech on your platforms? And what is the answer they always give? It's always the same damn answer. It's the same answer he gave when the New York Post got censored for putting out the Hunter Biden story. What was it? You guys remember? I remember. We are attempting to combat disinformation. We are attempting to combat misinformation. We are attempting to combat fake news. Well, where's Twitter now? Where are they now? Over 70,000, over 100,000 Trump supporters after what happened at the Capitol 6 riot in DC, they all got dumped off of Twitter and accused of being misinformation agents. Parler was completely taken off of Twitter and accused of misinformation, which there might be some truth to that, but the fact of the matter is it's still free speech. And it's interesting that radical leftists and the woke mob on Twitter, all these journalists, all these blue checks, they literally spread lies and misinformation on Twitter saying that this guy was white and the mass shooter was a white supremacist, when in reality, the guy was born in Syria of Arabic descent. Pure lie. That is literally fake news. And Twitter doesn't flag any of the posts. Twitter doesn't censor, and I'm not advocating to censor them. I'm not advocating for anything. They can have their free speech. The world has to be wise enough to figure out the truth for themselves. That's life, whether it's on the internet or off. What I'm saying isn't not to censor them. What I'm saying is look at the gold double standard. They're all still on Twitter. They're all still speaking. All of their tweets are still up, and they're allowed to spread misinformation. But conservatives cannot tell the truth on Twitter without being censored and banned and sent into the digital abyss. If you're sick of it like I am, and you agree with me, drop a 1 in the comment section below. It's abundantly clear. It's abundantly clear that these people have a political agenda. Where are the fact checkers now? Where are all the little disinformation, little labels on all the tweets? They've been fact checked hard. They were fact checked hard. It was fake. It was fraudulent. It wasn't even real. They were attempting to come out and say it was a white guy, and it wasn't even true. Law enforcement comes out and is like, yeah, the guy's actually from Syria. He's of Arabic descent. And there they all are on Twitter, just still thriving. Still thriving. But conservatives have no free speech. Have no free speech on Twitter. We get censored. We get shadow banned. We get throttled. We get deboosted just for telling the truth. And I don't have to explain to you why. Not for the left. Rules for thee, but not for me. That is exactly where that lands. Rules for thee, but not for me. So let's switch. Let's shift gears to the political. That's still political, but the politician aspect of this. Don't you guys find it strange how every time there's a Democrat in the White House, there's just like all these mass shootings? I don't know what it is, man. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I do believe false flags exist. I'm not saying that this is what this is with the Colorado gunman. I'm just pointing out the fact that there just happens to be freaking mass shootings all the time when there's a Democrat in the White House. I'm just going to leave it at that. And it always distracts. It always distracts. It always distracts from the real issues. Just like right now, what are we being distracted from? The border crisis. I'm not saying that the families aren't suffering. I'm not saying that it's a horrible, horrific national tragedy. I just think it's interesting that this always happens when a Democrat or a politician has some serious issues that they're being exposed with in the country. I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. And by the way, I'll save it for this. I'll save what I'm about to say for after this video, okay? I'll say it right now. So here's Joe Biden not refraining from seizing the opportunity to smear the Second Amendment. Here is Joe Biden not refraining from seizing the opportunity to start with his gun control rhetoric. Gun control rhetoric. Here's Joe Biden earlier trying to act like a tough guy. Watch out, gang. We're dealing with a tough guy right here, okay? So you might want to put your seatbelt on for this one.
While we're still waiting for more information regarding the shooter, his motive, the weapons he used, the guns, the magazines, the weapons, the modifications that apparently have taken place to those weapons that are involved here. I don't need to wait another minute, let alone an hour, to take common sense steps that will save the lives in the future, and to urge my colleagues in the House and Senate to act. We can ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines in this country once again.
Ooh.
I got that done when I was a senator.
Oh, okay.
It passed. It was law for the longest time.
Okay.
And it brought down these mass killings.
Uh-huh.
We should do it again. We can close the loopholes in our background check system, including the Charleston loophole. That's one of the best tools we have right now to prevent gun violence.
Whatever you say, dude. You've been in politics for more than 47 years, and all you do is say, back in my day, we did this, I did that, and it changed things. And like, here we are in 2021, and you're claiming we have a situation that is a horrible national crisis and ain't nothing changed. It's like your own words contradict what you say, son. And people don't pick up on this. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And Joe Biden's acting like a tough guy. I will not hesitate another minute or another hour to take the necessary steps. It's like, bro, you can't even get up the stairs of Air Force One, son. Sit down, tough guy. Now, I understand Joe Biden has the power to do some serious authoritarian stuff, but I just point out the fact that Joe Biden cannot get up the stairs to Air Force One, let alone take the steps to fix the border crisis or fix what's taking place with this quote unquote crisis of mass shooting and white supremacy in the United States of America. Just putting that out there, guys. Just putting that out there. Anyway, so I want to show you guys just how ridiculous this really is. Okay. I'm showing you an article from CNN. Okay, no, Drew has not defected. Let's get this up. Drew has not gone to the dark side. Okay, I'm showing you a CNN article because I want you to see just how quickly these people seize the opportunity to push their political and exploit these opportunities and exploit these mass shootings. I want you to see how quickly they pounce on it. Even they don't even hide it anymore. Listen to the rhetoric of this article that CNN has put out regarding Biden pushing his gun reform, gun control rhetoric after the Colorado mass shootings. Take a look at it. Take a look at this. This is interesting. Biden pushes House-passed gun reforms in the wake of Colorado mass shooting. Now, listen to the way that this is written, okay? Just listen to how this is written. President Joe Biden on Tuesday used the late... You see that? You know they're not saying this as an attempt to show you that Biden is exploiting this. They just don't care. They just straight up put it out there. Look what it says again. President Joe Biden on Tuesday used the latest mass shooting to offer his most vocal push for gun control since taking office, saying the deaths of 10 people at a grocery store in Colorado should jolt Washington and the nation into action. It was a message past presidents have also wielded to disappointing results. But Biden, who has a lengthy and mixed record on the issue, signaled he was ready to press for legislation, even as he balances other priorities in Congress. In somber remarks from the White House State Dining Room, he said he would do everything in his power to keep Americans safe and pushed a pair of House-passed gun reforms, including a universal background checks measure and an assault weapons ban. After acknowledging there were still outstanding details to be learned about Monday's massacre, including the shooter's motive and weapons, Biden insisted enough was known to make an ardent call for new gun control. And there's his quote. I just showed you guys that video. And yet the complications in pushing for gun control at a moment when a number of other legislative priorities are looming was immediately apparent. Biden departed the White House directly following his marks for a visit to Ohio, where he is promoting the $1.9 trillion stimulus measure. And so what's interesting about this, and what I wanted you guys to see, is look how they use this rhetoric and look how they say these things as if they're normal, as if they're normal. As if Joe Biden going after the Second Amendment, as if Joe Biden calling for a ban on firearms or assault rifles or assault weapons or whatever rhetoric they use is somehow normal. Because the article straight up starts off by saying President Joe Biden on Tuesday used the mass shooting. Whenever an article starts by saying that a president is using a mass shooting, and then it goes on to say to offer his most vocal push for gun control, translation, this politician is using a national tragedy to push his political agenda. Dude. And CNN doesn't even hide it anymore. Let's pull this down. CNN doesn't even hide it anymore. It's just right there out in the open. Whenever an article turns out and starts off with saying President Joe Biden used a mass shooting to put out his most vocal and recent political agenda, that should cause some red flags to you. That should raise some red flags to you, because now you have a politician and you have the mainstream media coming out without hiding and straight up CNN saying, yeah, Joe Biden is using a national crisis and a national tragedy to push his political agenda. Am I the only one that sits here and is like, what? Like, that doesn't offend anybody? That doesn't offend anyone that people get murdered and immediately a politician seizes the opportunity to push his political agenda? I mean, that bothers me. It's ridiculous. These politicians, whether left or right, we're human beings. We're not political opportunities. That's not who we are as a nation. Whether left, whether right, whether Republican or Democrat, it doesn't bother you that a politician and the mainstream media just straight up comes out and says, yeah, the president is using these dead people to push his political agenda. Yes, I know that's what politicians do. I'm preaching to the choir here. This ain't me discovering this for the first time in my life. What I'm saying is, listen, I know there are millions of people out there that literally believe that Joe Biden and Democrats actually care about them. This proves to you, if the radical left is listening right now, what I'm saying to you is they don't care about you because they're willing to exploit dead people for their political gain. This is where we are in 2021. They're literally exploiting dead people for political gain. While we have a national border crisis at the border, they're going to sit there and virtue signal, oh, this is such a serious issue. I'm going to protect Americans. Oh, I won't let this happen. We have to protect people. Dude, you have so many issues that are worse than this. You won't even address the border. The mainstream media keeps asking you, are you going to go? Are you going to go? Oh, I'll get to it. While at the same time, they sit there and continue to literally virtue signal and act like they care about migrants. None of these people care about any of this stuff. It's only when it's politically acceptable to do so. And right now, because of the shootings, this is the time for political gain. They pounce on it. They jump on it. There's really nothing at the border that Democrats could pounce on right now and exploit because it's way too bad. So they're going to stay away from it. But right now, we have continual mass shootings. Whatever the origins are, I don't know. I just think it's interesting that they keep happening whenever there's another crisis going on to distract the media from talking about it, to distract the public from talking about it, because it's literally bad for the administration, bad for the party, bad for all of these people. And it just sucks people into something else. And then they try to exploit that. It's basically like, look, you have something happening over here, some major issues over here, but hey, look what happened over here. We want you over here. That's where we want you. Oh, okay. That's how it works. If you guys agree with what I'm saying, drop a 1 in the comment section below and let's get that like button over 500 likes. If you agree with what I'm saying, smash that like button immediately. Smash that like button immediately. This is just an excuse to go after the Second Amendment. It's just an excuse. It is literally just an excuse. Now, to go to my point, right? To go to my point that this is just for political gain. I know you conservatives. I know you centrists. I know you people, truth seekers. I know you guys understand what I'm saying. Okay, I know. Okay, I'm not talking to you guys like you're not informed. I'm not talking to you guys like you're dumb kids and you're barely learning this stuff for the first time. I'm fully aware that there are leftists that watch this show. And my heart is a lot of left-leaning, especially particularly millennials that watch me, a lot of them, they literally believe that these politicians actually care about them. Okay, so that's why I'm so passionate exposing this and preaching it from the rooftops, because my heart breaks for my generation. I'm a millennial, okay? My heart breaks for my generation. You think I like my generation being called snowflakes? You think I like my generation not being able to handle the truth? You think I like my generation being identified as a bunch of limp-wristed sissies that can't take anything serious, or that can't take a joke, or that can't take... You think I like that? You think I like to see my generation be lied to? You think I like to see my generation be used by the devil for evil political purposes? I don't like it. So this is why I continually preach this, because I know that there are people out there that still need to be woken up. Really woken up. I'm not talking about woke. I'm talking about literally enlightened, that listen, people like Joe Biden, people like Kamala Harris, they prop themselves up as political messiahs because they know that you will actually believe that they care about you. They would, listen, I'm talking to these leftists right now. This is how they view you. They view you, this is what they call you, a low information voter. That's what you are to these people. People that don't think about things. People that don't analyze things. This woke stuff is just ridiculous. But it's clear. To go to my point, right? We've had a border crisis, right? And you remember in 2018, 2019, Rashid Tlaib, AOC, the squad holding press conferences. They're crying, acting like they care about the migrants, right? Stay with me. But recently, since we've had the migrant crisis at the southern border, they've been silent. We've gotten maybe 1 or 2 tweets from AOC, and then her handlers probably told her to shut the hell up. It's not politically beneficial to do so. Rashid Tlaib won't talk about it. I don't see press conferences anymore. The squad isn't actively exposing what's taking place at the southern border. They're silent. Right? They've been silent these past couple weeks with this entire crisis at the southern border. What's my point? Drew, why are you saying this again? My point is, listen, this is how you know that this is all political optics to these people. Rashid Tlaib, the squad, Democrats have been silent about something they claimed to care about a couple years ago under Trump. But now, look what they've done. Let's get this up. Now they've mobilized. Look it. Now they mobilized. After this shooting, they were silent about the southern border, but now Rashid Tlaib on Twitter has mobilized about the mass shooting. All her tweets have to do with gun reform and gun control. There's a retweet. There's another retweet. Background checks for gun purchases are common sense step that would save lives. We passed universal background check legislation. This is a retweet of another rep she agrees with. Here are some more tweets. Gun violence kills more Americans every year than all modern terrorist attacks combined. Yet every time another mass shooting happens, we stick our heads in the sand. Here's another retweet that she retweeted. You deserve to breathe clean air and drink clean water. These are all different issues. Issues of women, issues of the climate. Again, different issues of human health rights in Palestine, World Water Day. You just keep scrolling down. And there's nothing. There's nothing. They just immediately mobilize whenever there's something else going on. And right now, all the radical left wokeists, even Rashid Tlaib is tweeting. There's another retweet. So he is Muslim is trending. Did I miss? He's Christian trending for last week's Atlanta mass murder. She retweeted that from Ilhan Omar. You see what they do? They're not talking about the border. Let's pull this down. You see what they do? They pick something that they want to get behind. They exploit it and they make it go viral. And they get millions of people to believe that they actually care about these issues. This should just show you. I hope people that can't see this stuff can see this stuff now. How is it that the squad that was so actively mobilized, calling out what was taking place at the southern border in 2019 under Trump, is silent now, but now they've picked something else? We have a worse issue now at the southern border. They're silent, but now they've picked a different issue to get behind. Now they want to go after the Second Amendment. Now they want to go after guns. Why aren't they talking about the border? Because they need something to talk about. They need something to get behind. They need some kind of political point to attack and to present. So they've picked this one now. If it's not the migrants, it's the gun reform. If it's not the gun control, it's the climate. If it's not the climate, they don't care. It's nothing but a political talking point to these people. And they're attacking white people in the process. They're attacking white people in the process. All right, guys, let's do some super chats. Let's do some super chats, guys. This is how you guys can support me. I am 100% independent. I am supported by you, the people. I am supported by we, the people. I am supported by the people. That is you. I am independent alternative media. I have no big company behind me. So if you guys would like to support me, you can leave a super chat below. We're about to get into them. This is my favorite part of the show. So you guys can leave a super chat, ask a question, make a statement, or you can donate directly to my website. The link is in the description below. On my PayPal, Venmo, or my Cash App, or you can support me monthly on Patreon. You can join the community right now and support me monthly on my Patreon. The link is in the description below. So this supports all my trips. I'm planning a trip to the southern border in Texas next. So if you guys would like to be a part of that, if you would like to support me, you can donate on my website as well. All these proceeds go to my livelihood. They go to this show. They go to my reporting. They go to everything that I'm a part of. I've dedicated my life to this. So I thank you guys for the support. And I thank you guys very, very, very much for the continued support, even the past support these past couple days. You guys are awesome. So let's get into some of these super chats. Right now, this is one of my favorite parts as we get to interact with what you guys are saying, what's on your mind right now. Here we go. Let me pull these up. Okay, we have some super chats coming in right about now. Okay, we have a super chat from Carson Tesher. We have a super chat from Carson Tesher, $5 super chat. Carson, we salute you. She says, or he says, social media as a whole is a cancer that no amount of radiation can cure at this point. Only makes more rage, hate-filled mutants. I agree with you. I think the human heart is sinful and it wants sin. It wants gossip. It wants slander. And I think social media is the perfect place for people to do that. I think it gives people an outlet to be keyboard warriors, to have Twitter fingers and lash out their evil little ways. And some people do it from anonymous accounts. They have the ability to literally do their evil and just lash out in their anger and their hatred on social media. And I think it brings out the worst of people. But at the same time, I think we do have to understand that social media can be used for good. I truly do believe that because I think that's how I exist. And that's what I try to do. I try to speak what's good. I try to expose what's evil. I try to speak the truth, and I try to debunk lies. So at the same time, I'm trying not to make people enraged. I'm trying to make people enlightened. So if I could speak for myself, I agree with you. I think social media is absolutely toxic. I think people get addicted. It's bad for teenagers. There are studies that are coming out that social media and handheld devices are actually not for kids. Makes them more depressed. It leads them down to depression. That's a whole other case study. But I personally do think that God gives us technology, and because we live in a sinful world, it gets manipulated, it gets twisted, it gets tainted, it gets poisoned, and it gets used for the devil. But at the same time, what the enemy used for evil, God can use for good in the end, and that's what I believe in. So we have another super chat from Chelsea Bruck. Thank you for the $5 super chat from Chelsea Bruck. We salute you. Chelsea says, finally caught you live. I watch every night. Chelsea, thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. I truly appreciate not just the support, but just you watching. That means a lot to me. So Chelsea, shout out to you. We salute you. Chelsea says, finally caught you live. I watch every night, but it's late at night. You are one of my faves. You're going places, my friend. Thanks for your honesty. I truly do appreciate that, Chelsea. I put my heart into this. I put my soul into this. I put so much into this, just putting these episodes together, researching, getting context. I know this show is a little long, but the reason why I think my show is a little longer than usual is because I do my best to give you guys full context whenever I'm talking about a story or whenever I'm talking about something going on in the world. I try and give you guys a big picture with details so you guys understand, because we live in the TikTok age, right, Chelsea? We live in an age where people just want a 30-second video, and you're not going to get context in 30 seconds, okay? So I think a lot of people, they really do want truth. They want context. They want facts. They want the lies debunked, and that's not going to happen in a 30-second TikTok video, okay? So that's kind of why I take my time with this stuff, guys. I'm one to take my time when I'm breaking down news. And at the same time, you want to be careful, because if you don't have it right, you could get sued. So that's another reason why I'm very careful and I give full context, and I'm very thorough with my reports. So that's what you're going to get from Drew Hernandez. So we salute you, Chelsea Brook. Thank you. Thank you for the encouragement. We have another super chat from Survival. We salute you, Survival. Survival says, multicultural whiteness is a term now that the left have created. It's completely ridiculous. Yes, that's what I was saying, right? They're just redefining words. They're redefining terms. So when you see them come out, when you see the radical left wokeists come out on Twitter and say, we should ban angry or violent white people, it doesn't matter. Because as a white person, you might sit there and say, well, I mean, I'm white and I own a gun, but I'm not violent. Not according to them. Because their definition of violent could be literally anything. Literally anything. That's how these people function. They define terms. And you're absolutely right there. They have all these new terms, and it doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter what the dictionary says. These authoritarians, all they care about is what they say. It's their reality, or it's nothing. We have another super chat from Wild Ace Cat. We salute you. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Wild Ace Cat. Truly appreciate it. Wild Ace Cat says, what's going on today reminds me of the book And Then They Came for Me by Matthew D. Hawkenos. I'll definitely check that out. I love reading. I love reading new stuff. I love reading, especially like George Orwell, 1984, all that crazy stuff. I love reading. So I will definitely take that out. Thank you for the, check that out. Thank you for the super chat, Wild Ace Cat. We will definitely check that book out. And Then They Came for Me. Sounds like pretty suspenseful. We have another super chat. Thank you for the $20 super chat from Whatever and Everything, another frequent supporter of mine. Thank you so much. For all of you guys that are frequent supporters of mine, we are going to open up the memberships section of this channel. So we'll have special badges, all this cool stuff, little emojis. You could support me monthly for different perks, or you could support me monthly. Join the community on my Patreon. The link is in the description. Our Patreon is growing. We're starting a Discord channel as well. So we're going to have some stuff coming out where we can have our community gather, the Drew Hernandez live community, where we can have people conversate even after the show, before the show. We'll do cool stuff. You can join my Patreon and get access to that as well. So the link is in the description. That is soon to be released. So just a little preview. All right, so Whatever and Everything, thank you for the $20 super chat. We salute you. Whatever and Everything says, Drew, everyday watcher, I appreciate it more than you know. They say I'm privileged. I was raised in a single-parent home. My dad was murdered by the cops. I'm sorry. When I was 13 and my mom was a drunk. Lived in the hood in a crack house. Check my song 2 + 2 = 5 on my YouTube. Salute. We salute you. I will definitely check that out. I will check that out. I'm sorry that that happened in your life. That's a pretty intense, traumatic thing to live through. And see, but that's what these people do, right? You know how like a lot of these radical leftists, they hate Christianity, they hate God, they think it's so legalistic. I have to be this perfect person in order for God to love me. God can't judge me, XYZ, all these things, right? But the religion of the left and the religion of the wokeists, right? The wokeists. I think I'm going to term that, right? Instead of locusts, they're wokeists. The religion of the wokeists is worse. It's worse. You have to be perfect with these people. And to go to your point, Whatever and Everything, is there's no mercy in their religion. There's no compassion. Just because your skin color is white, they don't care about your story. Because I'm almost positive, Whatever and Everything, that what you just shared with me made you stronger as a person, that matured you as a person, that made you a better person, regardless of your skin color. White people, brown people, black people, they've all gone through certain things like that. But the point I'm trying to make is the religion of the wokist, leftists, they don't care. They're not interested in your story. They're not interested in the pain, the blood, sweat, and tears that you've gone through as a white person. They don't care. You could probably relate to them more than they realize, but because their religion is so, they demand perfection and they demand you believe what they believe. And what they believe is they believe all white people are racists, born little racists. They don't care about your story. They don't care about what you've been through. They don't care because they hate you. That's their religion. So thank you for sharing that with us, whatever and everything. I really do believe that stuff like this has made you a better person because it makes you stronger. So we have another super chat from White House. We have a couple. What's going on, man? White House has 2 super chats, 2 $5 super chats. We salute you. What's going on, White House? With that channel, with that Jen Psaki channel, he says, so as a former police detective and war veteran, I can tell you gun laws only take the guns out of law-abiding citizens. Yes, I totally agree. History confirms that very statement. History. Hitler took the guns. Mao took the guns. Stalin took the guns. The list goes on. Castro took the guns. All authoritarian regimes go after the guns because they cannot have the citizens defending themselves. They can't. White House also says, anyone that buys a gun signs a federal form saying basically you're mentally sound. So how did gun laws work this time? Oh, and why is gas up $1? Because that's the economy. Democrats, they're inflating the economy. And part of the inflation of the economy, you're going to see gas prices rise. Isn't it interesting that under Trump, gas was lower, the economy was booming, but then the virus came and everything died. And now here we are with a new Democrat president and everything is going backwards. The Great Reset is not making America better. It's not building back better. It's actually taking us even further backwards. That's what the Great Reset is. The Great Reset is to take us further backwards. And when you hear them say build back better, they're not talking about Americans. They're talking about the global elites building back better. Their authoritarian global power and their regime, not only in America, but across the world. So when they say build back better and they want to reset, they're not talking about the people building back better. They're not talking about our lives improving. No, it's their version of the world getting back to where they wanted it to be. And what does that include? That includes an inflated economy. That includes people in poverty. That includes destroying the middle working class. That includes putting millions of people being dependent on the state. Why? Because these authoritarians want millions of people dependent on them and their regime. And why do they want to take away the guns? Because they can't have a bunch of Americans, millions of Americans, all 2-8 up, ready to defend themselves when a new regime is trying to take them over. That has to be removed. That has to be removed from the equation. Joe Biden is a globalist. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how old that old fart gets, man. That guy's a globalist, dude. He's a globalist puppet. We have another super chat from Zach Kahia. I'm just going to pronounce it that way. Zach Kahia, we salute you. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Zach says, as I believe Steven Crowder once put, they can't even wait for the bodies to get cold before using them to push for their anti-gun agenda. And that goes with anything, does it? That's not even just Democrats. Politicians within themselves will exploit, they'll pounce on anything they can get their dirty little fingers on in order to do what? Make money and get votes. Make money and get votes. These political career politicians have mastered these things. And it's not just Democrats, it's Republicans as well. And it's an offense to me. It should be an offense to humanity that politicians do this with people that die. Like, I don't care what your politics are. I don't care. It should be an offense to you when CNN straight up comes out, doesn't even try and hide it, and straight up says, headline article, starts the article off by saying, Joe Biden, President Biden, used a mass shooting to push policy. This is just, it's an embarrassment. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. We have some more super chats from Truth with Ease. Also, guys, if you guys would like to support me, you can drop a super chat or donate directly at my website. The proceeds go to my reporting. They go to my career. They go to everything you see when I'm reporting at a riot. I'm down at the southern border, putting my life on the line. This is how you guys can support me. This is how you guys can come alongside of me. You may not be able to fly down there with me, but you're with me in spirit. You could send me down there. I thank you guys for the super chats and the donations on the website. If you would like to donate on my website or support me, join the Drew Hernandez Live community on Patreon. There are monthly perks that we're about to roll out. You can do that as well. The link is in the description below. Okay, we have some more super chats. Let me get to some of these. We have another super chat from Truth with Ease. We have another super chat from Truth with Ease. Give me a second. My computer's not loading this for some reason. Are you going? Let me try and read this. What does it say?
It says, are you going to do some investigative work at the border?
Truth with Ease, we salute you. Thank you for the super chat. Truth with Ease says, are you going to be doing some investigation work at the southern border? The answer to that is yes. I already have begun. If you would like to watch our last podcast episode from last night, I did my report off of my findings at Yuma, Arizona, the southern border in Arizona. Exposed Jen Psaki's lies, exposed what the White House has been saying. So I've already started doing some investigative work at the southern border. You can see all the footage on my Twitter. I've been breaking it down on OAN. Actually, I think I'm on OAN right now. If you go turn on OAN, I think I'll be on right now. I think it just started. Yeah, I think I've been going on OAN. I've been going on Newsmax. I'll be on Alex Jones tomorrow morning. I went on, where else was I? Been on Steve Bannon, Real America's Voice. So when I do my reporting, when you guys support me, you send me out to report, you send me out to the southern border, you send me to go cover a riot. It gives me the ability to bring this to the mainstream news when I contact them and say, hey, we just found this, we just exposed this. Can I come on and just break this down and expose it and bring it to millions of people? And they'll say yes. So that's what you guys are a part of when you're supporting Drew Hernandez. So yes, I have been doing investigation work at the border, and I think I've already proven that I'm pretty effective. We've already exposed the White House. Literally, I could literally sit here and say I've exposed the White House's lies about the southern border in just one trip. You guys did that. You guys sent me out there to do that. So I truly appreciate it. And I thank you guys for the support. I thank you guys for the support. I truly do appreciate it. Alrighty, guys. I want to thank you guys. If you guys can do me a huge favor, yes, I'll be on InfoWars tomorrow morning. I'm actually on OAN. I think if you turn OAN on right now, if they didn't already play my interview, I think you'll see me on there right now because I did an interview earlier with Dan Ball on OAN. Go watch it right now. I'll be on InfoWars tomorrow morning. I think around in the morning, somewhere between 8 and 11 a.m. in the morning, somewhere around there, 8 and 12. I'll be on InfoWars with Alex Jones. You guys are going to not want to miss that. So thank you guys for tuning in tonight. If you guys can do me a huge favor and subscribe to the channel, smash that like button. Let's get to 500 likes right now, guys. Also, if you guys can hit that bell notification, toggle on all, because if you don't toggle on all, you'll only get occasional notifications. So subscribe to the channel right now. Don't let the censors win. Don't be lazy. Don't get complacent. Subscribe right now. Hit that bell notification. It's up to you. Share this video. Get the links out. Follow me on PARLER. Follow me on Gab. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. All the links are in the description below. Let's not let these technocracies win. Let's not let big tech win. Let's do it right now, guys. I thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Same time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you guys for supporting me with Super Chats. And then, like I said, if you guys would like to continue to support me, consider supporting me, joining the Drew Hernandez, the DH Live community on Patreon, and supporting me monthly and everything that I have going on. So thank you guys very much. I love you. And until next time, America, stay free.